we doing, everybody? This is Dave Wakert with the Splash of Gas podcast, coming from you live right now from the infield of Daytona International Speedway for the ARCA Series practice. Scheduled to be over 77 different drivers testing here between the next 2 days. Biggest names will be Helio Castroneves, fourth-time Indy 500 champion. He will be trying to make the Daytona 500 with Trackhouse Racing in their 91 car. He is going to be also doing the ARCA race, get more practice on the oval here. He's going to be doing the testing. Excited to see him on track, plus the big names in the ARCA Series. Butterbean Queen, Lawless Allen, Chase Pintano, among several others. Truly appreciate NASCAR for giving me the credentials for the ARCA testing. Currently walking to the pits right now after parking in the infield. Super cool experience driving through turn 1. Can't wait to see what on-track action we will see today. Hopefully get to talk to some drivers as well. Keep you posted. As always, we are sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, a.k.a. Disney Dave Wakert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek updates. Instagram, NASCAR_Dave_Splash of Gas. Facebook, Splash of Gas. NASCAR Dave Wakert, and now on Twitch as NASCAR Dave 78. Please check that out for some live Splash of Gas. Just was walking around the garage. Drivers and teams are making the final adjustments before they hit the track shortly. Currently walking the pits. Brandon Butterbean Queen, talked to him. He's roaring to go. Saw Grant Enfinger, Truck Series veteran, who was in the championship 4 last year. He's excited for the new season, he said. Did also get to see Helio Castroneves get into his car. Super excited to see that. Kind of starstruck, to be completely honest. Track was green for a couple minutes. Believe a handful of cars, 3 or 4 went out for single lap runs. Yellow flag did go out. Not 100% sure if there was a wreck or not. The jet dryer is on the track currently. Keep you updated as the on-track action continues. The track has been turned green. About half dozen of cars just came out right now. More about to hit the track momentarily. The Joe Gibbs Racing 18 ARCA car, this time driven by William Sawalich, has just entered the track. Lawless Allen in the Venturini 20 ARCA car, running a full season this time. Lawless takes the high line on his first few laps. Most of the drivers right now are hitting the track for a handful of laps and headed back to the pits for some minor adjustments. Andy Jankowiak, who we were talking on last episode, who won the Allentown Midget Race, just hit the track here in Daytona. As the practice would move into the afternoon, teams would take turns hitting the track. Small groups of 4 or 5 cars would get together to practice drafting. As the afternoon would wear on, more and more groups would form. At one point, a group of 8 would form, and they would be even practicing passing. As we approach 1 more hour left in the practice, 4 Venturini Motorsports cars will come together in a draft along with 3 others. What an absolute blast at the ARCA Series practice this past Thursday from Daytona International Speedway. Great to kick off the rust, making an early January trip to Daytona. I know everyone up north is dealing with the snow and cold right now, but boy, was it chilly on pit road with the gusty conditions and in the high 30s. But the on-track action would keep everyone nice and warm. Super cool to be in the garages and pits, seeing the drivers and crews busy working on their cars. More ARCA recap, including interviews with driver Amber Balcaen and Brad Perez, who would each be on top of the timing board after Thursday's practice. Plus, on discussions with Dave, we'll go over the changes to the NASCAR Cup Series damaged vehicle policy. That and so much more to come on this episode of Splash of Gas. Now for trivia time. Such a pleasure and a blast getting to see 4-time Indy 500 champ and 3-time Rolex 24-hour champ Helio Castroneves. He looks solid on his drafting and single-car runs. Awesome to see him work with his crew and teammates. This week's question is, Helio's last Indy 500 win was in 2021. What year did he win his first Indianapolis 500? Answer coming at the end. We'll jump right in with the ARCA results from the testing/practice on Thursday. Amber Balcaen in the Nitro Motorsports Toyota would be top of the board, followed by Chase Pintano for Venturini Motorsports, then Willie Mullins for Mullins Racing. The next 3 drivers would be the remaining 4 drivers for Venturini Motorsports: Lawless Allen, Jake Finch, Isabella Robusto. Then from Klaus Motorsports, driving the Ford, Andy Jankowiak. From Mullins Racing, Brad Perez in the 8th. Vincent Arthur from Klaus Motorsports, and rounding out the top 10, Roll Kraz in the AM Racing Ford. Other notable teams: Corey Day in the Spire Motorsports Chevy finishes 19th. Joe Gibbs drivers, Brett Cruz, William Sawalich finished 20th and 21, along with their teammate Gio Ruggiero, who finishes in the 23rd position. Helio Castroneves and Brendan Bean, Pinnacle Racing Group teammates, they finished 26th and 27th. A smaller number of drivers will go out on track on Friday. Dale Quarterly in the Quarterly Racing Chevy will lead that group. Biggest takeaways from the ARCA practice? With this being my first time going to the ARCA January practice, I wasn't 100% sure which day, Thursday or Friday, would be the best one to go. Super happy I went on Thursday, as all the big names would be in action, with 70 different drivers taking turns on the high banks, compared to only 23 on Friday. Got to see the top ARCA talent, plus Truck Series star Grant Enfinger, Racing YouTube star Cletus McFarland, and of course, Helio Castroneves. After going over all the timing from Thursday and Friday, all the big dogs would be out there on Thursday. Dale Quarterly, who was the fastest on Friday with a 49.63 lap, was 14th fastest on Thursday with a similar time. First thing that jumped off from the live timing to me was not that all 4 Venturini cars were in the top 6. But Amber Balcaen would be in the first spot. Fresh off a full ARCA season last year and in 2022, Balcaen will be racing a part-time schedule with Nitro Motorsports this year. If you look at the results, pretty much all the teams with multiple cars would all have very close times to their teammates. And teammates would be bunched together on the scoring sheets. Yes, that has to do with the fact that they started the draft and they would be working with their teammates. But in the case of Amber Balcaen, her Nitro teammate, Thad Moffitt, was over a half second behind her. Way to go, Amber! Balcaen is a third-generation race car driver from Winnipeg, Manitoba, who made history in 2016 when she became the first Canadian female to win a NASCAR-sanctioned race in the U.S. Amber has a dirt racing background, and she became the first in her family to transition to asphalt stock cars. Since 2016, Amber has been racing in the ARCA East-West Series, the ARCA Menards Series, plus several other starts in the NASCAR Canada Series and in the Cars Pro Late Model Tour. It was announced Thursday morning that Nitro Motorsports is confirming Amber Balcaen to their 2025 ARCA Menards Series campaign, set to compete at the Daytona International Speedway next month, plus action in select events throughout the season as she continues to put together her 2025 race program. I'm excited to join Nitro Motorsports and can't thank Nick and the team enough for the opportunity, explained Balcaen. I'm looking forward to testing this weekend and hopefully find my way to the top of the charts as we work towards next month's event at Daytona and several other races in 2025. With experience in the NASCAR ladder programs, Amber enters 2025 with experience and motivation as she aims to impress in the new Nitro Motorsports program. Amber will be on track this weekend as she prepares for her debut next month. Added Nitro Motorsports' Nick Turner. She brings years' worth of experience and a great 1-2 program to our series debut. We are looking forward to seeing what Amber and Thad can do in the Sunshine State. Balcaen continued to say, I have some experience working with Nitro Motorsports guys in the past as they were able to assist me in Kansas, the site of my best finish. I'm looking forward to building upon that and seeing what we can do when it really matters next month. Here's what Amber had to say after the practice.
Season
Weichert here with Amber Balcaen at the ARCA testing here at Daytona. How did today go?
Today went pretty good. We're P1 on the board, so I think we did what we came here to do.
Okay, awesome. How do you think you're going to be, this is going to put yourself for the race in February?
Yeah, it definitely gave myself and my team a lot of confidence. Now we got speed in the car. I was really happy with how my team all worked together today as well, and I feel like we have a lot of chemistry with us all, and we're going to put on a good show at Daytona.
Definitely a lot to build on, for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate the quick chat with Amber as her and her crew were loading up their car at the end of the day. As we heard from Amber, she's already building chemistry with her new team, Nitro Motorsports, with being the fastest on Thursday. Solid building blocks to move into February with. Really appreciate her time. Continuing our look back at the results from Thursday, as mentioned and as expected, ARCA powerhouse Venturini Motorsports had all four of their drivers in the top six. The surprise was that the top Venturini driver and second behind Balcaen was 18-year-old Canadian driver Chase Pintano, who is making his debut at Daytona with Venturini. Had Chase on the podcast for the Season 4 premiere 2 episodes ago. Was super cool to meet him in person and have a chance to speak with him in the garage. Pintano unfortunately got involved in a wreck at the end of the day when he and his Venturini teammates, plus several others, were drafting in a pack. Chase's car had some minor damage in the right rear bumper of the car. Spoke to him after on exactly what happened, as the grandstands weren't open, so you can only see the cars go through the tri-oval. Chase wasn't 100% sure on what specifically occurred. He could have been even bumped, but him and his team will take a look at all the camera views. Overall, I would say a solid day for Chase. Just so much he can learn from. Think he can really use the experience from the drafting crash to build for a great finish to come in February. Totally get that this is a practice and teams have different agendas for what they are looking for, but surprised to see how low in the timing sheets that Joe Gibbs Racing and Pinnacle Racing were. Gibbs drivers of Brent Cruz, William Sawalich, and Gio Ruggiero finished 20th, 21st, and 23rd once the day finished. Pinnacle drivers of Butterbean Queen and Helio Castroneves would finish the day 26th and 27th. Expect each of these teams to turn it around when they return to the track and have a chance to contend for the win. Last team we will touch upon today will be Mullins Racing, which had 2 cars in the top 10. Mullins would have 3 drivers, Regina Sargent, Brad Perez, and Willie Mullins. Got a chance to speak to Brad on his 8th place spot on the leaderboard and how his practice went. Brad Perez is a 27-year-old working-class first-generation racer of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent, making his way into professional motorsports. Perez started racing go-karts at 17 before building a spec Miata to participate in the very competitive SCCA spec Miata class, while taking on multiple internships in organization series, including NASCAR, IMSA, SCCA, and NASA to further elevate his racing and technical prowess. Brad then moved to North Carolina in 2019, working for multiple NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, ARCA, and NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series teams over the years. In 2021, Brad made his professional racing debut in the ARCA Menards Series with Josh Williams Motorsports at Watkins Glen. The following year, he made his NASCAR Truck Series and NASCAR Xfinity debuts. In all of his races that year, he finished in the top 25, completing every race. Here's what Brad had to say. David Weichert here with Brad Perez at the ARCA practice. How did everything go today, would you say?
Pretty good. My job was really just to make sure the car was good for Regina Sargent, who hopped in the car and she did really good. I mean, for being out there in just a 2-car pack, I mean, she was out there and way quicker than a lot of the teams that have way more funding than us. So that's pretty impressive what they built over there in Fredericksburg. And I hopped in because Willie was like, "Oh, I want to draft with you." I was like, "Okay." And I had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and any opportunity I have to drive an art car, especially here, is awesome.
Heck yeah. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Thank you for your time, Brad. Moving right along to discussions with Dave. Rule changes to the damaged vehicle policy. NASCAR announced this week there would be upcoming changes to their damaged vehicle policy. The changes are: the damaged vehicle policy, DVP, is now relaxed for the Cup Series. The 7-minute timer now only applies to teams making active repairs to damaged race cars on pit road. Those cars will be forced to go to the garage area once the clock runs out, but they will not be ruled out of the race. There is no DVP clock for cars in the garage. Cars in the garage can rejoin the race after repairs. All vehicles unable to drive to pit road garage area will be towed but will not be ruled out of the race. Drivers who leave their pit stall before the DVP clock runs out but do not make it off pit road before the clock expires will be issued a penalty. And those are the rule changes to the DVP. What does this mean? In the 2024 season, there were several occasions where cars will get into wrecks, have minor damage, and because of a flat tire or something else, would not be able to get their car moving to pit road, ending their day. Example, Joey Logano in Pocono. Yes, this isn't going to help anyone win races, but it will give teams more time to work on their damaged cars so they can get back on the track in a safe manner. I believe this will only make the sport more competitive, as teams will take advantage of the new rule to get their cars back on track. Even though finishing dead last compared to a late 20 or high 30th finish doesn't sound like much, but it can make the difference of several points. And come playoff time, that will be very important to some drivers. Now for NASCAR history time. Continuing the theme of famous 500 finishes, 1959, Lee Petty. The first Daytona 500 was one for the ages, with a photo finish between Hall of Famer Lee Petty and Johnny Beauchamp. Although Beauchamp was originally awarded the victory, a photograph taken by T. Taylor Warren proved Petty the winner. NASCAR Chairman William H. G. France officially awarded Petty the victory on the Wednesday after the race. The uniform Lee Petty wore in winning the first Daytona 500 is on display at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, as are Petty's Daytona 500 trophy and Warren's actual photograph. The next historic 500 we'll touch upon is the 1976 one, David Pearson. The 1976 Daytona 500 came down to two Hall of Famers with the most career race victories, Richard Petty and David Pearson, and two of NASCAR's most legendary teams, Petty Enterprises and Wood Brothers Racing. Leaders Petty and Pearson crashed in turn 4 on the last lap, both hitting the outside wall, but only Pearson was able to restart his wrecked car, and when he did, he was able to limp back to the start-finish line and take the checkered flag for himself and Wood Brothers Racing, making for one of the most historic finishes at the Daytona 500. Now for trivia answer time. This week's question is, Helio Castronevich's last Indy 500 win was in 2021. What year did he win his first Indianapolis 500? The answer is 2001. As always, we are sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek updates. Instagram, NASCAR_Dave_Splash of Gas. Facebook, Splash of Gas, NASCAR Dave Weichert. And now on Twitch as NASCAR Dave 78. Please check that out for some live Splash of Gas. Again, appreciate everyone tuning into this episode. Hope everyone enjoyed the on-track action and the sound of the race cars. A little sneak peek to the upcoming season. Great to be back in the garages and pits in Daytona. Truly appreciate all the time from the crews and drivers I was talking to on Thursday. Shout out to ARCA Menards and Daytona on getting me those credentials. Can't wait even more to be back there in about a month in February. Again, this is Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, a NASCAR podcast. Hope everyone is staying warm. Have a great weekend and talk to you all soon. Splash of gas out.